Hi everyone, so we are going to discuss today's the quadratic equations. What is the quadratic equation and how we can solve the quadratic equation. So you know that what is the linear equation. So if any equation if or any function is given in this form where the power of x is 1, then it is known as the linear equation. Okay, so but when you get something like this, x square plus 2x plus 5. So here the maximum power of x is 2. So this is your quadratic equation. Now the general form of the quadratic expression is ax square plus bx plus c. So this is the quadratic expression, and if I will make it equal to 0, this will become a quadratic equation. So it's very important to identify a, b and c from any quadratic equation. So first we will do a couple of examples to how to identify a, b and c. Suppose if you have a equation some like this, 3x square minus 4x plus 5 is equal to 0. What is a? Here a is the coefficient of x square, which is 3. What is b? B is the coefficient of x, which is minus 4, and the c is the constant value, which is plus 5. So let's take another example. If you have equation like this, minus 2x square plus 4 minus 5 is equal to 0. Here it should be x. So here a is minus 2, b is 4, and c is minus 5. Now we will take one last example. If you get something like this, x square plus 2x plus 3 equal to 0. So this is the quadratic equation, and the a value we have to check the coefficient of x. So here nothing is given, so we will assume it is multiplied by 1. So a is your 1, b is your 2, and the c is your 3. So this is the method, like you can identify any a, b and c for any quadratic equation. Now we are going to learn about how we can solve any quadratic equation. So the first method which I'm going to talk about is the factorization method. So now we are talking about the factorization method. Okay, so in factorization method we will check the factor of this one first. So first step is to put a 2 bracket, okay, and check the what is the factor of this, minus 10. So factor of minus 10 will be minus 2, 5, or 5, 2, minus 5, 2, minus 10, and 1, and 1, and minus 10. So here are the 4 factor of minus 10, and then we have to check addition of which is giving you 3. So you will check here, you will get minus 9. So this is rejected. Here if you will add, you will get, sorry, so here there should be no negative, should be here. So if you'll add here, you will get 9, which is rejected. If you'll add these two, you will get minus 3, which is also rejected. And if you'll add this one, you will get 3, and here it was also 3. So the factor of minus 10 which is satisfying this quadratic equation is minus 2 and 5. So I can write minus 2 plus 5, and that will be equal to 0. So what it's mean here? So we have now finally factorized this into 2 brackets, and both are in multiplication, and we are getting 0. This means that you are getting final result 0, which means that either this will be 0, x minus 2 will be 0, or this has to be 0, then only you will get final result 0. So x plus 5 equal to 0. Now if you solve this, you will get x equal to 2 or x is equal to minus 5. So these two are the solution of this quadratic equation. You can say solutions or roots of this quadratic equation. So if in the question they ask you to solve this quadratic equation, which means that you have to find the values of x which will satisfy this quadratic equation. So for any quadratic equation you will always get 2's values of x. Okay, so this is about the factorization method. Now the next method is, sometimes the factorization method will not work. Okay, so this question was very simple, that's why the factorization method work here. But sometimes the factorization method will not work like this. If you factorize this one, it will become a difficult question. Then we have to use a formula which is universal, and this formula can be used for anyone. Okay, this formula can be used for the factorization method also, for this question also. So this universal formula is, sometimes it is called minus b formula. It is known as minus b plus minus b square minus 4ac over 2a. Okay, so the good thing about this this formula is it can be used to any quadratic equation. Okay, so if you are unable to factorize, then always use this method to find the roots or solution of any quadratic equation. So first I have to rectify what is my a, what is my b, and what is my c. So we can see that a, the coefficient of x square is 3. So b is coefficient of x, which is minus 2, and the c is minus 4. Then I will plug them into the formula. X equal to minus b is minus 2 plus minus b square is minus 2 whole square minus 4, a is your 3 and c is your minus 4, then divided by 2 times a is your 3. If you simplify, what you will get here, you will get 4 plus minus 2 whole square is always positive, so you will get 4, and if you multiply this quantity, so this will give you minus 12. Minus 12 times 4 is, I think, 48. So it will give you plus 48 over 6. So let me check once again. So this is 4 and minus 12 multiplied by 4 is 48. Okay, so now we'll simplify a little bit more, then we will get 4 plus minus under root 52 over 6. So under root 52 is, if you use your calculator, or maybe you can just split this into the prime factor, you will get 52 is your 26 times 2 and 26 is your 2. So 52 is 2 times 2 times 13. So if you simplify, you will get 2 root 13. You can use your calculator also if you are unable to do like this. So this will give you 4 plus minus 2 root 13 over 6. So one time I have to take positive and one time I have to take negative. So if I'm taking positive, my x will be 4 plus 2 root 13 over 6. This will give you, if you can divide everything by 2, it will give you 3 2 plus root 13. And if you will take negative, sorry, one mistake I have done, this is 2. Okay, because minus here, if you multiply this minus with minus 2, you will get 2. So this is your 2, so this will become 1. So if you will take a negative value, your another root will be x is equal to 1 minus root 13 over 3. So you can see that this is more difficult problem when you will think about the factorization, but if you are using the minus b formula, the question becomes easy. So this was another method which can be used to find the roots or solution of any quadratic equation, and this formula is universal. It can be applied to any quadratic equation, but the factorization is sometimes difficult. So this, I say, it is universal. The next method we will learn about the graphical method, okay, which is very easy. If the graph is given, you can easily identify the roots or the solution of any quadratic equation. So if you plot the graph of this quadratic equation, you will get something like this, where this is 3 2 1 4, and this is minus 1 2, and this will be your minus 4. Okay, so this is the graph which I have plotted for this quadratic equation. If they ask you what is the roots of this quadratic equation, then you would have to go to the graph. If the graph is given, then you have to just check where the graph is cutting the x-axis. So here you can see that the graph is cutting at x equal to minus 1 and x equal to 3. So these two values are the roots of this quadratic equation. You can also do the factorization method, and let's see what we are getting. So if you do the factorization of minus 3, you will get 3 or minus 1, minus 1 or 3. So these are the only two possibility, and by adding, which will give you minus 2. So sorry, this should be minus 3. Okay, so this will give you minus 2. So I can write x plus 1 and x minus 3 is the factor of this quadratic equation. Or so either x plus 1 should be 0 or x minus 3 should be 0. So if I solve this, you will get x is equal to minus 1, so x is equal to 3. The same answer we have got here. So this question was easy, that's why I have used the factorization method. So mainly for this question we are talking about the graphical method. So we can see that by looking at the graph, we have to just look at the where the graph is cutting the x-axis, and that will be our roots or the solution of the quadratic equation. Okay, so next method is the substitution method, and the substitution method would be like this. Suppose a difficult problem is given, and you will recognize this something like this: if t minus 6 over t whole square minus 6 t over t plus 5, if this is given, okay, we know that this is a quadratic equation, but the difficulty is inside the bracket. Okay, let's take another problem: x to the power 4 x square minus 6. So the maximum power is 4 here. Let's take another problem. Okay, so here we can't easily identify whether it is quadratic equation or not. But for let's suppose for the first question, if I assume the quantity inside the bracket as x, I can write x square minus 6x plus 5 is equal to 0. So this becomes a quadratic equation and you can solve it. Okay, for the second question, if I'll assume my x square as t, okay, so this expression will become t square plus t minus 6. Now it is a good quadratic equation. You can easily identify this is a quadratic equation, but here it was not possible. Now for the third question, if you'll assume under root x is equal to t, okay, so you will get 2t square plus 3t minus 5 is equal to 0. So what this was the substitution method. So and the trick was whatever is given in the middle, the variable one, assume it as a t or u or x. So here I have assumed x, here I have assumed x square as t, and here I have assumed under root x as t, and then we form the quadratic equation. So let me solve one problem. Okay, so let's suppose for this question 2x 3 plus root x minus 5. So this was my quadratic equation, and if it is difficult, then you can use minus b formula. If you use minus b formula, your a is 2, b is 3, and c is minus 5. Okay, so if I'm using quadratic formula, then t will be equal to minus 3 plus minus b square, which is the square of 3, 9, minus 4 into a, which is 2, and minus 5 over 2 times 2. So if you solve this, what you will get, your t will be minus 3 plus minus under root. So here you will get 9 minus this will be minus 4 times 2 is minus 8, and minus 8 times 5 is minus 5 is plus 40. So you will get 49 here over 4. So if you solve, if you try to simplify, you will get minus 3 and the 49. So we have to make in the, you have to break 49 into prime factor. So 49 is 7, 49 is 7 times 7. So 49 is 7 times 7, which will give you okay, under 49 is your actually 7, so this will give you plus minus 7 over 4. So what is the two values of t you will get from this? Okay, so first you will get, if you take positive one, you will get minus 3 plus 7 is 4, 1, and if you take negative one, you will get minus 10 over 4. Okay, but what was actually your t? Your t was under root x. That was my assumption. You can see here I have assumed under root x as t. So can I write t is equal to, sorry, t under root x is equal to 1 times 1, because under root x is equal to t, and the second time I can write under root x is equal to minus 10 over 4. This we will reject, because under root will never give you negative. Okay, now we have to think about this one. So how we can solve it? If you will take the square both sides, what you will get, x is equal to 1. So this is your final answer, which will satisfy this quadratic equation. Okay, so here I have generally talked about 4 method to solve any quadratic equations. So the first method was using the factorization method. The second method was, which is the universal method, was the minus b formula one, and the third method was the graph. So it was very easy to identify the roots if the graph is given, and the fourth method was the substitution method. There is another method which is called complete the square method, which I have stated in the separate video, so that will be a different topic. So if you like this video so far, you can like it, you can share with your friends, and subscribe the channel so that you can get the next notification when I will upload the next video. So thank you, see you again, bye.